Vegas is just days away, which means it's time to do your fantasy draft. And we are here to help you with our very own NRL.com draft. I'm Paulie G, and in the studio, we've got a whole bunch of people. NRL.com producers Tom Leake, Andrew Molinaroli, and Aaron Dimopoulos. And we've got the guru himself, Daniel Long. Plus, in the screen, Corey Rosser, Ross Lapthorne, and Eric Wells. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Daniel, you're first up, first pick. Where are you going?
Yeah, how good is the draft, Paulie? Look, the fantasy app this year has been great for me as well. I'm going with Nathan Cleary at this point. You got Cleary v Hines. Hines is interesting in Classic because he's a pod, but for the draft, you just want that number one guy, and Cleary he's been that guy for years.
So does that leave you with no other option, Tom?
It does. We spoke about this before we started recording, and I really tried to talk him into not doing this to me, but he has. But it is the consensus number 2 pick. It's got to be Nicho Hines here. It wasn't my first choice, but second choice. That's what happens in draft, though. You can't always get your pick, so you've got to back yourself with your reserve choice, and here we are.
Eric, you're next up. Who are you going to go for the third pick overall?
You can't look over Payne Haas. He's going to be the top 1 to 3, so got to get in there.
Ross, who are you going to go? You're up now.
Yeah, I think this is pretty easy for me. Fill the hooker position first up, so Harry Grant. It's a no-brainer.
Here we go, my pick, and he's at the very top. I'm going to stick with him. Isaiah. Just consistent. Just Mr. Consistent, I've got to say. So Corey Rosser, NRL.com reporter and chief fantasy writer. Thanks for joining us. What's your pick?
I'm going to go with the offload machine. Jermaine Hopgood comes off a really good performance in the pre-season challenge and covers both middle and edge for me, so it's an easy pick. Jermaine Hopgood.
I do like that DPP option. Leave some good players on the board, though. Moses was mentioned, Cam Murray, and Aaron, your first time on the show. Welcome.
Thank you. First time.
NRL.com producer, of course. And what are you thinking? What are you thinking draft-wise here?
Well, a few people I was thinking of have already been said. So let's go with DCE.
Oh, that's a snake pick for you, Andrew. Of course, Andrew Molinaroli, fans know him from all around the country, especially in Townsville. And
Yep.
he's here, NRL.com producer.
Yep.
I think your pick's just been snaked.
Yes, it has. Thanks, Aaron. Well, I think I might go Mitch Moses. Really think he's going to have a good year this year after last year. So, yeah. And I'm on the snake, aren't I?
So Andrew gets 2 picks. If you're not aware, with drafts, the way the order goes, it does go last to first in the next round. So Andrew, you're straight back up.
Yeah, so just going on what I think who's going to have a good year, I think Cam Murray's going to get through a lot of work this year. So picking up Cam Murray. So Aaron, you're up.
Aaron's up next.
I am up. Okay.
Already got DCE. You got your half filled. There's some good mids and edges at the top of that list as well for you.
Let's see. Okay. Let's go with Paddy Carrigan.
Wow. Pat Carrigan. I like
I
it.
don't mind that.
No Flegler.
Which means, of course, Corey, you are up.
I'm going to go a player that's a little way down on most of the pre-draft lists, but high-scoring fullbacks are in high demand, and probably no one has the highest ceiling on this guy, so I'm going to go Kale.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was looking old.
There you go.
Yeah,
Kalen Ponga. That's incredible. The first real bolter of the draft.
Yeah, let's hope second half of last year, Ponga, and not first half.
And I'm surprised, Corey, of course, our New Zealand representative today, that you haven't gone with that man, Sean Johnson. You've just opened the door for me. I've already got a mid there, so why not then get the half? I mean, this is crazy. I think the Warriors could win the comp this year. I could have the comp winning, Dally M winning, Churchill medal winning half.
Big calls, Paulie.
Let's go now to you, Eric. For your team, Payne Haas first up was a very solid pick. Who do you back him up with?
Over to Ross first.
Yeah, I think it's me, Paul.
Oh, geez. Sorry, Ross. I tried to steal your pick.
You said. No, you're fine, mate. You're fine. No worries. I'm going to grab a half now before it's too late. I'm going to go Cameron Munster.
The halves are really getting picked up now all of a sudden. So this is what can happen in the drafts where you end up getting a run on a certain position. So you've got to be aware of that.
You go snooze, you lose, Paulie. Some people panic.
Eric, now you're up.
In the exact same thought, halves are going missing, so I'm kind of torn a little bit. I'm thinking maybe a bit of a smoky in going Ben Hunt.
There you go. Halves are coming off the list.
See how the shake out.
Isn't it nice, Paulie, watching a half run when you've already got one? Everyone keep picking those halves, boys.
Right.
Keep on going.
Right.
All right, let's go to you now, Tom Leake.
Bit of struggle here. I'm thinking I'm going to start going for middles, and there's one player I do quite like there. I don't know if I'm smart, I don't know if I'm dumb. Corey, you took one of mine, I'm taking one of yours. I'm taking Tohu.
Tohu Harris. I feel like that is a brave pick, knowing he's just getting a bit older. You know, maybe he'll get rested a bit more.
I'm calling it slight revenge for Corey taking
Okay.
Ponga.
Okay. That means it all comes back to the number one pick, the casual athlete himself, Daniel Long.
I'm cheering. I'm sort of watching all these picks, and the guy who I would have taken 5 picks ago is still there. Look, Damien Cook is the only other tier 1 hooker left on the board, so I'm jumping right on him at hooker with my first pick here.
Very good, very good. Get in there while you can, and then you get a second pick.
Yeah, look, second pick, this is a big gamble, but because we're only picking one player per position, I'm going for pure upside here. So I'm looking at Dave Fafita and just thinking, yeah, he misses a few games to start, but I can get a good backup for him. So Dave Fafita is my next one.
Wow, David Fafita. There you go. Another small bolter. Tom, you're up.
I feel like I'm going to argue with you here. You just said there was only one tier 1 hooker left. I actually think this next pick is the last remaining tier 1 hooker. I think he's going to be pretty hot this year. Me and Andrew have spoken about it a few times. It's got to be Reece Robson. I think he's in for a great year. The Cowboys can't get worse. They're only going to get much, much better. So there we go.
We're having a nice little run here. You know, Batman and Robin, like Cleary, Hines, Cook, Robson.
Yeah.
Just keep following each other.
Yeah, we're best friends.
And that means Eric is back on the clock. Pick 3. What does the LMC Floggets do?
Yeah, well, I feel like I've got the FOMO over here, so I just now looking at hookers because they're starting to disappear now. So I'm going to jump on Coruscant before he goes missing.
Oh, wow. Woo! Go the West Tigers. Oh, the pressure's on, Ross. Do you follow this trend, or do you are you your own trendsetter?
I'm breaking away, and I know this one's for all the Manly fans out there. He's back in a big way. He's training the house down. Tommy T, baby.
Oh, in fullbacks.
There are no houses left on the northern beaches.
Tell you
All been
what.
trained down.
I tell you what, this certainly makes it difficult. And Manly players, I like the idea of Manly players, I've got to say. I also like the idea of centres. No one's picked up a centre yet. So I'm thinking Isaac Tungo, I think Penrith. I know what happened in the World Club Challenge, but I think he's in for a big year. So
Be better again.
next up, Corey Rosser. Where are you going?
Yeah, tempted to take one of the decent halves that's left on the board, but I think I might be able to snag one of them later. So it's a toss-up between Tino and AFB for me. And we'll go with AFB because he's not going to play Origin and should be a little bit more readily available. So Adam Blake.
Bit of a homer pick, but a good pick, I'd say.
Good pick.
Good pick.
Love scoring tries at AFB.
Now we're looking at you, Aaron, for your next pick.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go with someone that had a really good first year, I think, and hopefully we'll just continue that for 2024. So I'm going to go Jacob Preston.
Wow.
Big minutes, I reckon, this year.
Scored a try in the most recent pre-season game. He's got some good fantasy points in that game. So
Very
just
good.
keeping it going. Andrew, what are you going to do?
I'm going to go a guy. I was just recently in All Stars and he looked svelte. He looked very fit. I'm going to go Latrell.
He's back in a big way. And wing fullbacks, there you go. You know, you've got to get in now. That's the key with draft centres and wing fullbacks. You want to get in early on the
Yep.
runs. Andrew, you've got 2 picks.
Yeah, I'm going to go bias here. Hamoli. Pick him
Yeah.
up.
I was very close to getting him, I've got to say.
I saw him. I was like, I'm going to pick him up
Yeah.
before someone steals him. So
Yeah.
yeah, happy with that.
Well done, Andrew. Erin, it's back to you. Your team is starting to look packed with mid, edge and half covered. But now what?
All right, I think we're going to move over to the centres, grab someone that's in new colours. Herbie Farnworth.
Oh, Herbie. I can see Tom Lee.
He's heartbroken.
He's got his heart broken.
Hovering over him, ready to go.
There you go, centres. The run has begun, dare I say. Corey Rossett.
Corey picked Jerome Hughes.
All right, Corey getting that half. Jerome Hughes, good pick, Corey. My turn now. And I'm thinking for me, I'm going to have to go my man, John Bateman. I know he has the bye in round one. I'm going to have to get some bench cover later, but...
Well, we're just on Johnny Bates, though. Are you expecting Canberra John Bateman to come back this year?
I'm hoping he'll play 13.
Oh, that's good.
What about your man Seafath?
Well, he'll be a good bench cover.
Yeah, that DPP is going to be crazy then for this team.
And look at this. Ross, after going Storm players back-to-back, has gone Turbo and Garrick. So two Manly guys covering up his wing fullbacks and centres, handing it over to Eric. See what Eric can come up with. And there it is. Nat Butcher, a dual position player. Good pick by Eric. It's over to you, Tom. Who are you thinking?
Yeah, again, could be a risky one from me. Someone that needs to really go big this year. I think he will go big this year. It's Mr. Captain himself. It's James Tedesco.
James Tedesco.
Look,
What about that from the Pom Bears?
But you shouted at me for it, so I have to be back in on it.
Longy, you've got a theory on Tedesco. You think he's going to
He's
have a
hot
run?
and cold, and he was hot in the trials, 200 metres, so I was actually thinking about Tedesco as well. So you've stolen one from me this time. Look, for mine, it's a no-brainer, and I can't believe you guys have left him here this long. It's Dan Gagai. 54.5 average at centre last year. There's no reason to believe he won't continue that, so yeah, I'll chuck him in at centre.
Does the loss of Dom Young change anything?
Maybe he holds the ball more this year.
No, I didn't think of that.
Look, it could reduce the potency of that edge, but I think a full season with Ponga playing the way he is, and potentially if Cogger comes into the halves, it's all benefits. So,
Okay.
Oh, I'm picking again. Right, let's throw Tino into the middle forward spot. I think he's got that tier one sort of middle potential.
You're going hard on the Titans with the bye in round two.
Yeah, look, we're going to have a big bench. But they're all going to be Titans as well. No, there's plenty of Parramatta Smokies I can grab onto.
Pom Bears, you're back up.
I'm going to have to go with my guy, Greg Margie.
Well, he's a hard worker, right?
Yeah.
I know
Eric
exactly where you're going to go with the centre
Wells,
spot.
you're back on the clock. Liking the look of this team, but you do need some outside backs.
Back on. So I'm kind of jumping between. I think there's more centres available at the moment, so for now I might just go for a bit of a flashy player. I'll jump on Reece Walsh.
Oh, Reece Walsh, I like that pick. I like that pick a lot. Ross, awesome picks. Ruben Garrick was a brilliant one the last one. Where are you going now?
I feel this guy is a top tier mid. He's in a weakened team this year at Canberra. It's Smoke and Joe Tarpanay. I think he's in for another big year, given his limited minutes, but his PPN's amazing.
Can't believe he's lasted that long. Absolute steal. That is the first steal of the draft. I'm calling it. All right, my team. I still need a hooker. I still need a wing fullback. Last year I did wait a long time on the hooker position, but I don't know if I can go there right at the moment. You know who's been playing awesome? It's RTS.
Oof. Oh, that's a fun one.
So I'm taking him at wing
It's a
fullback.
nostalgia pick, that one, I think.
Wow, have you been watching the games?
Yeah,
There's no
he's been-
nostalgia to it.
Yeah,
he's going to kill it.
Getting through a lot of work, isn't he?
All right, who we got up next? It is Corey. This is a tough part of the draft. It's when everyone's picked their probably favourite player, shall we say, and now there's positional attitudes. Do you do like Leakey and take a bench player and come back to where you are for your position? Do you just make sure you slot up those six? Corey, what are you going to do?
Roger was on my mind, Paulie, before you took him, and so was Bell Holmes because he kicks goals. But I'm going to go Joey Manu, the DPP status.
he was next on the list.
Yeah, that's a fair call. He was
choice.
very close for me as well. I think very, very close. So the dual position, so important, Aaron. You need a hooker. You need a wing fullback. but you could also strengthen your bench. Some pretty good players there.
There are.
This is pressure.
It's pressure. And for my first draft pick as well, this is extra pressure. But I think I'm going to pick up Drinkwater.
Scotty Drinkwater.
Yep.
What a season he had, Longy. What a season he had last year.
Yeah, I was eyeing off Drinkwater as well. With the way we've only got one player per position, he's the perfect guy where you plug him in with an easy fixture and you leave him out when they've got a tough one. So, yeah, it's an awesome pick.
Well done, Aaron.
He was a must-have last year, wasn't he? Towards the end of the year, just couldn't fit him in. I'm going to strengthen my starting side. So, yeah, I'm going to go centre. Really like Val Holmes.
Goal kicking.
Goal kicking, doesn't really miss.
Yep, I like
So
it.
pick him up.
Your side now looking very strong up front, and you've got another pick, so now you really can balance it out. Do you go the hooker?
I do go the hooker, Paulie.
Ooh.
And another one, didn't have a great year last year, but I'm going to pick him to have a good year. Brandon Smith, dual position.
Ooh. How important is dual position in draft, Loggy? You could say better than anyone, right? You want to get dual position players like what Andrew just said.
Yeah, I mean, you're chucking him onto the bench, right? So he's only going to get on when there's an injury to now two positions. So you've doubled his value, basically. Whether Brandon Smith is a good pick is another question.
It's a great pick, mate.
I think you're gonna be pulling your hair out. You look like me by round 5. So,
Erin, your turn. What are you thinking?
All right, so I'm in need of a hooker. Wow.
The pickings get a bit slimmer.
Yeah.
This is again draft strategy. Do you wait and try to get a diamond in the rough later on and strengthen your bench now, or do you reach and just make sure that you don't miss out?
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. I'm not sure whether this is going to be silly or not, but I'm looking at Sam Varels.
Erin, I've got some bad news. It took so long, it gave you Jack DeBellin. Corey, you're up.
that's not bad.
It's all right.
That's not bad.
All right.
And this does happen, of course, when you're playing draft. You have to set how many minutes or a minute for each pick. And if you miss the time or if you've gone away from your laptop or phone, it will be auto-picked. Corey, you're up.
I'm going to go with Britton Nicola here. I am still in need of a hooker, but I'm going to strengthen my bench and pick up a really good edge player who's got a great relationship with the Hines.
Yep.
Yeah, I get it. I'm in the same boat at the moment as far as trying to work out how I go. And I just think that Ewan Aitken, just the fact that he's dual position and it looks like he's going to get that second row spot, I think for mine, I'll just grab him now rather than wait. And then I will worry about a hooker a little bit later. Ross, your turn.
Yeah, I think this one's more of a I'm just going to grab these players because they're on the board still, and I love this kid, Dylan Brown. I'm going to grab him as a backup half.
And you talk about Longy, good compliments for each other. A guy like Munster is going to miss games through Origin period and that, and then Dylan Brown.
That's perfect. Yeah, I was going to do the same thing. So great pick there with Dillbags. Look, rock solid. He runs 150 metres plus every game. And Parramatta are going to win the comp, so you're in a good one there.
Don't know about that last one, but everything else sounds good.
Let's try to sneak it in.
Eric, you're up.
Yeah, I've still got a centre spot, but I am jumping on the bench and get a bit of strong bench going. He's on injured at the moment, but I'm going to jump on Reynolds to bolster those halves.
Nice pick there, just backing up Ben Hunt, a nice combination. The Pom Bears, Tom Leake.
Yes.
Do you get an edge now?
So I've got an edge in the centre to Phil. If he comes back and is as good as he was, he's an easy pick against both of them all.
Yeah, that is putting yourself out on a limb. If it comes off, you look like a genius.
He was averaging 50 points a game last season. He played fully, so
New coach, though.
a great coach. If anyone's going to get...
The casual athlete himself is in the hot seat for 2 picks now, back to back.
Bo's nice, 11 tries that year, so he could be hot. I'm just thinking, because our rosters are so shallow here, I'm picking based on guys that I can predict on fixtures. So the first one here is Clint Gutherson at wing fullback. And I wouldn't go Gutho out of the remaining wing fullbacks if we had deeper squads, but Gutho is the exact kind of guy where he scores 60 plus when he's playing a weak team, and he sort of goes missing against the top teams in terms of fantasy scores. So he's a guy I can just pull in and out and sort of get that top performance from half the time.
Going major strategy.
Major strategy. And the other guy I'm going to throw in here is, because I've got Dave Fafita, I just need that reliable back rower. And Isaiah Papali'i is a guy who's been he'll be decent.
Good pick. Well done. Tom, back to you.
Yes, back to me. I'm now going after the centre, and there is a couple of options. Now, do I go for the homer pick, or do I go what is a smart pick, though?
Follow your heart. You'll have more fun that way.
Well, no matter what, it's better than your All England.
Exactly, that would have
team
been great.
idea. And I'm sure you would have loved it. I'm not sure if the punters would have.
Yeah,
learned.
do it off there. Do it off
No
there,
English
Paul.
hookers this year. Josh Hodgson, I miss you dearly. Anyway, and at centre, I'm picking Katoni Staggs.
Oh, I like this pick.
Yep.
He's up for a big year.
He's great. And
well done.
A huge game from the start of the season, so hopefully he's fired up and gets me going early.
Eric, we're back to you now, and your side still needs a centre, so Katoni's off the board.
Yeah, just about to jump on one. Looking at trying to keep my favourite team bias out, but I think Bradman Best is the pick on this one.
I think he's due. Right, that's a good pick.
A lot of upside.
Yeah.
A lot of upside.
He was my alternate pick there.
At pick 51, I think
Scared
that's
of being
a
called
solid choice. Ross, what are you thinking?
Well, Paulie, we had so many parties last year, and you know
Don't
what? I
say
think
it.
the party's still going to go on in 2024. It's the party time, baby. It's Edge. He's in.
Hey, he's
Such
getting
a
selected.
good ceiling.
Madison's
Great floor.
not even in the 17 at this stage. Yeah, get him in.
Good shout.
Yeah, worked hard in defence. It was good.
That means it's my pick again. I still need a hooker. Maybe might have to start thinking about that. And they're not really on my radar, are they, when you look at the draft order that you can select? So, yeah, that's a shame. I'll get one. I'll tell you, it's pretty hard right now because the way that Josh Curran played, surely he gets the start. And he's dual position. And I think I'll just take a bit of a punt that he does get in there. And then I've got some...
They do need middles, old doggies, so good big minutes.
Hope he gets the lock roll.
55 average in that spot too, so could be a steal.
Taking a risk.
Is that the second steal of the draft, or?
Well, it depends. It depends. It could be a reach. It could be a steal. We'll only know at the end of the year. Corey, over to you.
Going to take my namesake here. He's going to start the year suspended, but to me, he's got elite middle potential. So I'm going to go big red, Corey Horsburgh.
Yeah, good depth pick as well. If anything happens to your main man, Fanua Bake, he'll step right into the breach. Aaron, I know you're disappointed that you couldn't make a pick last round, but here's your chance to make up for it.
It is. I'm going a little bit differently. I'm going to jump onto my bench. I'm going to do Cam McInnes.
If only he still had that dual position role, hey? As hooker. It'd be perfect.
Sorted
for
out,
you.
Paulie.
Andrew,
All right, so my
He did very
team's
well at
pretty
hooker too when he
sorted.
stepped in.
I'm going to go dual position with the Premiers. Scott Sorensen.
I like that.
didn't play on the weekend, did he? They needed him.
Brand new blonde hair, though. So if we're going on the Ponga scale of blonde hair, great player.
And Andrew, you get to pick.
I'll go again, yeah. So I'm going to keep going with the dual positions for my bench just because, why the hell not, hey? Against my better judgment, I'm going to go Tanner Boyd.
And that's how you draft, right? You want to have guys that can fit multiple positions from your bench.
Now Tanner's goal kicking in the trial the other day, he was missing some
Yeah,
some
mate.
easy ones.
Trial form, mate. Don't worry about that.
Oh yeah.
All good. Val Holmes missed one too, so
He's just benched it.
it's all right.
I'm just throwing in a bit of devil's advocate.
Everyone, I'll cross
We've
back
done
to
now,
you.
all right? So what can I do?
All right, I'm going to jump on the hooker, which I missed out before.
Yep.
And I might just stick to my guns. I might just say we'll stick with Sam Verrills.
You've done well.
Yeah.
You've got two great players and you've still got the player you wanted. That's how you draft people. That's how you do it. Corey, you're up.
Easy one for me here. A guy that didn't have a great year last year, but he kicked goals and should set up plenty of tries in a good team. Sam Walker as a backup half.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a big year. I love that pick. And playing in Vegas, you know what you're going to get first up, you know. Why not? Now, I'll show you if people don't realise, because I really need to get my hooker sorted. And this is how you can just look up only hookers going. And you can see here on this list, all of a sudden, doesn't look too bad. And one guy who had a really good year last year but then got injured, and hopefully he gets back in there, no more injury worries for me, is, of course, Jeremy Marshall-King. And now I don't have to worry about finding that hooker.
Mate, that's serious value there.
I think so. Ross, you're up.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I've filled my team now, so I'm going for backups. This guy with the new downtown rule plays at the Premiers. I think he's going to get a lot of points. Dylan Edwards.
Dylan Edwards, that's such a strong pick at that stage of the draft. Eric, you're also now just looking to fill the bench. Where are you going?
Keeping with the dual position, but also played really well. He's always been a workhorse. Mitch Barnett, workhorse on the trial just gone, and
Yeah, he looked really
I think
good.
he'll keep going through as long as he stays fit.
He looked really good in the pre-season game there. Tom?
Yep. Continuing the thread of backups, there is one who I really like this year. Again, I'm really hot on the Cowboys this year. I don't know if it's because I was just in Townsville and it was really hot up there, so naturally hot on the players. I'm going to go Tom Dearden as a backup half.
Yeah, I think he's in for a big year as well.
Purely based on nothing other than he looks great.
Saw him studying tape
We watched him studying tape.
at Cowboys HQ.
I thought he was watching the game, mate.
Well,
Daniel Long, you get 2 picks back to
Yeah.
back. You've really now looking at the back end of your draft after these 2 picks.
Yeah, we get into the fun part of the draft. So this is where you can make calls that are going to win your draft or lose it for you. Look, I'm going to stick with the theme of getting guys that I can plug in when they have good matchups. The first guy I'm going to throw in here, and this is a bit of a gamble at this point, is Taylor May. And I've got a few reasons here. 1, absolute weapon when he was playing. 2, plugs in. It looks like he might have the dominant side for centre as well. And 3, he'll get that dual position. So on my bench, I can put him into both spots.
Unless Taruva's injured.
Taruva will come back soon. If he's on the wing, that's not a bad thing.
It's not a
either.
bad thing either.
Yeah. And then the other guy I'm going to pick at this point, there's a few guys sort of tug on me here. I'm going to throw Matty Burton a pick, and this is less of a show of faith and more of a belief in the upside.
Yeah.
Because if he gets it right, he could be one of those tier 1 halves. And if he gets it wrong, I can work it out.
At pick 65, you're going for the upside.
That's it.
All right, Tom, you're up.
yeah. So I'm not going to say I'm struggling now, but there's less and less nailed-on players available. So I don't know if I do go incredibly rogue here. Once again, just on where I think there's potential, I'm going Xavier Willison. He's a dual position. I think he's going to have a really, really good year.
I think that's the first reach.
He looked
the draft.
very good in the All-Stars game.
Not sure anyone else is going to grab him this round.
Oh, it's just doesn't matter.
Manly won the
If
pre-season
you want
last
him,
year.
if you want him, go get him.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's brave.
I think there's going to be a lot of changes in that area for the Broncos, and he looks a good candidate to step in. So
Okay.
Good in the All-Stars.
good
in the All-Stars.
And going
Derek,
off my
30
Leo
seconds
Thompson,
remain. Sorry to do this to
Yeah,
you, but you
him
got a quick one here.
That's all right. That's all right. Sticking with the workhorse, I was throwing up between a back or a mid. I'm just going to jump in real quick because I haven't got much time. I'm going to jump on Josh King, just workhorse. Enough said.
Corey, we are down to the nitty-gritty. You still need a hooker.
Yeah, thanks, Paulie. I'll jump in though.
Oh, Ross, that's twice I've done
I
that
need
to
a
you.
workhorse too, just like Floggy. Just like Floggy said, he needed a workhorse, and I actually thought you were going to pick this bloke. He's been promoted to captain, North Queensland, Big Rubes.
Yep. Good pick.
Oh, how did you get him so late in the draft? That is a steal and a half. Now, before we go to Corey, I was jumping around ahead of myself. I've got to make a pick as well. And now that I've got my top 6, I can really look at the guys that I liked at the start of the year and work out, geez, which one of those could, as Longy said, could have a bit of upside. And look, it's probably risky because I've already got 2 centres, but if he gets wing fullback, Stephen Crichton could suddenly become someone worth having. And I think he would be picked up eventually. So I'll just grab him now and just stash him and see what happens.
You've made some good picks today, Paulie, but that is the stinker.
Oh, hey, we love Stephen Crichton at NRL.com. I don't want to hear any negativity.
Great player, but for fantasy, TRAP, mate, he's a big trap.
Oh, well, he's on my bench for now. I'm going upside. Corey, what about you?
I was thinking Stephen Crichton.
Maybe I'm the
No.
minority.
I need a dummy half. Why not take the guy that never missed a game, Blake Bradley?
Doesn't miss tackles either.
He'll
I
be
think.
solid, right?
Solid.
40s, not
40.
bad at this stage in the draft.
Yeah, never gets hurt.
Yep.
Rock solid.
Aaron, your top 6 look really strong. It's now just time to try and find some cover, particularly for your backs. What are you thinking?
It's a good question. What am I thinking?
Is it a Matt Timoko? Is it someone from the Raiders who's...
I think go what you're thinking. Go with your gut there.
Is it
Go
a
with my gut.
Pensini?
Go with my gut.
Is it a
Back
Will
yourself.
Pensini?
Yeah, I don't mind this pick.
Okay. Okay, let's go with Kolomatangi.
Oh yeah, cover
Yep.
up your Preston pick.
Yep.
I
I
like
don't mind
that. I like the two of them together because you can look at the matchup and figure out which one do I want to play this week. You'll get a lot of upside with those two.
Are you thinking of South Sydney bounce back this year?
Sure.
Yep.
Yep.
Andrew, you've got 2 picks and then you'll only have one more.
Yeah,
so these
sweet,
2
mate.
are very decisive.
Yeah, so
And-
again, I'm going to get some cover in my backs. Again, a bit of a biased pick, but he had a good back end of the year, so I'm going to go Collar from Manly.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a breakout season.
Yeah.
I'm calling it early.
Thanks.
How good was he at fullback?
Yeah, he's
Oh,
fantastic.
crazy.
And yeah, speaking to Siebes in the off-season, how they're going to use him this year, it's great.
There you go. That's a tip.
Heard it here
for
first,
your
guys.
A tip for your
I
classic
don't
picks
really
too.
know what to do now.
You got 2 to go.
Yeah.
You've got your all positions covered, so now I think you can make a luxury pick.
Yeah. I'm just going to pick up Neo Corday. I just like him.
Dual
just like him.
position, scored
Just
a try
like him.
on the weekend.
Yeah, he really makes a difference for the Warriors. I like him, so going to be cheering for him.
Aaron's second last pick, I will reiterate, you probably need some cover in your elite, well, not only your outside backs, but your halves as well. What direction are you going to go?
All right. Let's go to the Raiders, like you said, and we'll jump on Jamal Fogarty.
Yeah, nice cover for DCE, especially around Origin time.
Yeah, he'll do a lot of the kicking, won't he?
He's going to do it all.
He's going to do it all, so.
A lot of people eyeing him off in Classic as well. Corey, it is definitely you this time and not Ross.
We need some wing fullback cover here, so I think we'll go with the hammer. It also gives us cover at centres. We'll grab the hammer.
TK from the Talking League podcast, big on Hammer this year, I believe. So a late draft pick. Pretty clever. My turn again, and I feel good with my coverage. So now I might be able to make a bit of a luxury pick, or I might have to go half like Corey. So once again, I'll look at the specific positions and see who I've got there. Well, not as good as I would have liked. So maybe I will wait a bit longer and look at just a best player available, Tom Flegler. Next up is the Toadfish Rebeckis.
Yeah, so I need a backup hooker. Going on the rhetoric of the Warriors going to have a big year, I think Wade Egan's a pretty safe one to plug in there as a backup. So, yeah, I'm happy with that.
What a good player to have as a backup. The only concern, I guess, is the injuries.
Literally I was hovering.
All right, Eric, you're on the clock.
But I'm in the same boat, except I've realised I've got Appy. So I don't have any hooker for round 1. So Egan's been snaked, so I'm going to jump on Croker and hope that Gordon doesn't take the field and take us all by storm too early.
Well, he won't too early because he hasn't gone to Vegas. So you're lucky there. Round 1 at least you'll be safe with Lachlan Croker. Good pick. Pom Bears, as we're getting towards the end of our draft, this is your third last pick.
Yeah, once again, this is probably a little bit of a reach, but I think with Fermo on the edge, who is out round 2 on a bye, I think I need to have decent cover that's definitely going to be there. I think from everything we're hearing, Ben Trebojevic might be a real nice pick there.
Dual position.
Yeah. So I think he covers me at centre, he covers me on the edge. I think, yeah.
Yeah, we just
Early
need
season,
him
he
to
could
go
be-
hard early, right? Just to get that coverage.
They've got some difficult games, but, you know,
Nice.
that could spur him on.
All right, here we go. The casual athlete. 3 picks to go. He's got 2 of them here. Pressure's on.
Yeah, the heat's on. I want more than 3 picks. Look, I've got to go that backup hooker spot as well. I think to be able to get a guy like Reid Marnie at this point, I would have preferred Egan, so that was a really good pick. But Reid's rock solid. He came out with about a 43 average last year with the most missed tackles in the comp. So I think he can improve that. I think the Dogs team will improve and support him a bit more through the middle, and he'll be really good.
Got a few Dogs in there in your bench.
They're
Triple down.
they're hanging around. And this next pick, there's sort of 2 guys that I can go for here. Because I already have the wing fullback covered, I'm going to jump on Will Penasini to have a big year. 21 years old. At his age, Tungo jumped from 42 to 49 with his average.
Ooh.
So Penasini this year, Parramatta being better, I think he could push into that upper echelon of centres.
There you go. Tom Leake, you're
So
on the clock.
Yeah, I also need some backup in the hooker position. And there's 2 options I'm tempted over. One of them has missed all of pre-season. The other is the player that took his place last year, took his place this year, and even when returns, will probably still be in the squad. A big turnaround on my thoughts on this man. I absolutely adore him now. I'm going Phoenix Crossland. I
Big
love him now.
turnaround in the thoughts of many Knights fans. Phoenix Crossland, what a season he had last year. Eric, you've got 2 to go.
Top point scorer of 2023. Get in my team, Sake.
Yeah, everyone might have
that's
forgotten
nice.
about him. What a pick up at 83. It's another steal.
Yeah, that's absolute gold.
Ross, your turn.
Yeah, so I've got one last spot to finish. It's an edge. Now, Bird hasn't been given his centre edge cover yet. Salmon hasn't been given it either, but I think I'm going to go a safer option in the Frizz. I just want that safety. So, yeah, the Frizz.
Strong pick. And my pick, well, I'm just a bit nervous, just in case Crichton's not going to be good backup for Roger. I think I've got to go the Pappenhausen. Got to hope that he winds back the clock, rediscovers that form before all the injuries. Corey, we're over to you.
Thought I had one of the steals of the draft there with the Sarko in my sights, but he goes off the board. So I'm just going to add another wing fullback here, someone with high potential. Brian To'o is someone you can sub in when Penrith have a favourable matchup on that edge. So let's go with the powerhouse, Brian To'o.
A few groans here in the studio, Corey. So I think you've nicked one there. Aaron, you're up. You got a half cover there. You've still got 2 positions available. You do need centre and wing cover. Maybe there's a dual position person out there.
Okay, I'm probably going to grab... We'll go with Cobbo.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. Fitting that all-important dual position spot. He doesn't have centre yet, but we
He
all
should
know
do, yeah.
that he'll
Yep.
get it once he gets named there. So that's smart. Andrew.
So another biased pick for me, but new club. I'm going to pick the next Joey Johns, Luke Brooks.
Luke Brooks,
Brooksy.
my old favourite player. And now we enter the final round of the draft. Andrew, kick it off for us.
All right, so I had my sights set on someone, but he's gone now. So again, a guy I just like, who I think he's going to do pretty well, work hard all year, Hudson Young.
Yeah, strong pick. Erin, it's your turn. You've got 1 pick remaining. You've got all positions covered. You've got your bench covered.
All right, I'm going to go... I've got 2 people in mind, but I think I'm just going to go with a personality pick here because I quite enjoy this person and I think he's going to have a good year. So I'm going to go Billy Smith.
Billy Smith, I like it. I like it a lot.
I was looking at him going, B. Smith. I'm like, I've already picked him up, haven't I?
I wonder which B. Smith will outscore the other one. Could be a little thing
I'll
you
take
guys chat about after the draft video is finished. In the meantime, Corey Rosser, your final pick. Where are you going?
I don't need an edge at all, but saying that, I just think this guy's got a lot of upside running off Sean Johnson on that edge for the Warriors. He could score 10 tries this year, really. Kirk Capewell I'm going to pick up just for the sake of it.
Yeah, I really like him for the Warriors this year. I just feel like, as I said earlier, I think the Warriors could go all the way. And he's a key signing for them. So I'm pretty happy that I've got my bench covering my positions. So now I'm just looking at this draft, pre-draft list I prepared earlier. So many players I really like.
Surely another Dolphin, Paulie.
Well,
Dolphin number 4.
no, I think I'm going to go one from your team. Because I just like him this year.
The Lane Train.
The Lane Train.
If I
All aboard.
if I can't be on the Cardi party, then at least I can get on the Lane Train, right?
Yeah, it's nice.
All right. Ross, I haven't forgotten about you for once.
Yeah, so I'm up. No, it's okay. Last one. This guy hasn't got his DPP yet, but I'm sort of pre-planning in case he gets put back to fullback if Sloan goes down. So Zach Lomax.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, that is one where you're hoping to strike gold. Eric, how are you going to round off
For myself, pure centre coverage as well. As much as there's a few here, but there's a few misleading ones as well from having one outing and a high score, but going to jump on Ramian. I think he's going to be my last pick.
Yeah, and once again, at this stage of the draft, Daniel, this is where you're just trying to get guys that just finish you off, right? Like get you in a good position.
Yeah, exactly. What does his squad need? Ramian's a rock solid guy. He's going to play 24 games this year, so that's rock solid.
Tom Leake, your final pick.
Yeah, so I've already got quite a bit of cover on the edge, but it's someone that me and Dan spoke about before we started. Much like James Graham before he moved here was the bane of my life playing in the Super League. This man was the bane of my life playing in the Super League. He's now joined Canberra and they've got a great record of bringing English guys across and them doing so well. He is Elliot Whitehead's replacement. It's Morgan Smithies. Oof. I really like him.
Morgan Smithies. You've got to do it, right?
Yeah.
You've got to have a bit of personality in your team. Like.
He was a top 2 pick if I was going to go for an all-English side. So
he's got to
I'll show you
find
how
his
much I
way
like
in.
him.
Looks like he might
Second round, no
start.
one else is going to pick him up.
And casual athlete Daniel Long's going to end this draft of ours right now. Could it be Mr. Irrelevant or could it be the pick of the draft?
Let's hope he's relevant. Look, before I pick 2, Pappenhausen last round, it went under the radar. Your pick. That was a cracker. Very high upside.
Thank you.
Look, I'm just going for upside here, so I could grab a middle, but there's a bunch of guys there that we can fit into our squads. So what I'm going to go for here is the toss-up. Dream Buller is the runner-up for this spot because he could be anything, but I'm going to go with Jacob Carraz. Absolute beast when he plays at centre. He had a lot of injuries last year.
Could get dual position.
Yeah, he could be that guy.
Yeah.
Or if he isn't, then I can just drop him off and pick
And
someone
you're
else.
just loving the Bulldogs right now. So it just fits right in.
Everyone except Stephen Crichton for fantasy, but
The final team for the casual athlete as he adds in Jacob Carraz. There it is.
there's a lot of dogs on the bench, isn't there?
The dogs, but only on the bench.
Let's
so.
go back to the starting two. It's a bit better.
Well, everyone, well done. How do we feel? Guys, joining us, Ross, I'll start with you. How do you feel about your team?
Oh, mate, I'm going to win easily. Don't know what you were thinking.
Look at that side. And then we cross to you, Corey. What are you thinking now that you're looking at your team in its finality?
Yeah, pretty happy really. Got a lot of guys with high upside, which is want in this kind of structure of the league. Probably a couple of positions where I could have held off and maybe strengthened my bench a bit more, but pretty happy overall.
And Eric, I feel like you're in a pretty good mood. You're pretty confident with this team.
Yeah, I think so. I think probably the weak spots, maybe the centres, the halves are just that step down, but I'm pretty happy, I think. I think the biggest kicker will be just missing Coruscant that first round, but that's where you get the cover.
There you go. You've already moved him to your bench, so that's sorted out. Andrew, what did you make of your team there? It's looking pretty strong.
I like it. I think it's pretty balanced, my team. I like the cover I've got on the bench too, so Smith might be a bit of a headache, but no, I like it. I think Luke Brooks is a masterstroke, just quietly.
Erin, what about you when you take a look at that team? You got Verrills later than originally planned, so you've got one from your own team, DeBellin.
Yep.
As a big Dragons fan, you've got to be happy with how that worked out. And then look at those backs, DCE, Drinkwater, Fogarty on the bench, Farnworth.
I think it looks good. Probably a little rogue on some choices, but I think
I think it's great for your first time.
yeah, back myself.
Yeah,
Is that what they
back
say?
yourself. Yep.
They do. Casual athlete himself, Daniel Long.
Yeah, it's upside plays across the park. So I think Cook's a top 2 hooker, Fafita's a top edge back rower, Cleary's top half, Gagai potentially top centre. Like
He was last year.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. I just need to figure out wing fullback, but if Taylor May can be who I think he is, then he fixes that problem for me.
And Tom?
Look, the more I look at it, Xavier Willison was a big dum-dum call. I do really like him though, so I'm hoping it pays off. The rest of the team, pretty happy with.
It's all for free agency.
Yeah.
Like you can always use free agency.
I'm still a little bit.
Where are all the English players, mate?
There's still some to come in. I can bring them in if I need to.
And then finally, my team. Once again, I waited at hooker, which was a bit risky, but in the end, pretty happy with Marshall King and just hoping, like Longy, that some of those Dogs players can fire.
Yeah, I think we'll be doing Dogs Watch every week for fantasy this year, if it's me and you.
Well, thanks, everybody. That was a great draft. That's how you do it out there. Simply go to fantasy.nrl.com and you can go and make your own fantasy draft, or you can download the app.